information from the Death with Dignity Act's website. It's a relatively humane and simple process. What happens is essentially the doctor will prescribe a mixture that is mixed with water, consumed by the individual, will cause them to fall asleep, and in 95% of the cases there are 0 complications, and it goes off on average within 25 minutes. I feel this is a very safe, effective, and simple, humane option and should be provided to all individuals who are terminally ill and seeking a quicker death. Another reason, now that I've expounded upon how it's more humane, I would like to go on to explain to you how it also lessens suffering. I feel that euthanasia lessens suffering for not just the individual, but for their loved ones as well. According to the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization, the average hospice stay, or not stay, but care term for an individual is 69 days. During the 69 days, many patients will continue to be ravaged by their terminal illness or disease. Medicine will transform their personalities as well as their bodies. They will oftentimes become disoriented or confused because of the high levels of pain medication that they will have to be consuming in order to tolerate everyday life. And for some, they will begin to refuse food and water, which is a slow and painful process of starving and dehydrating. This is not only physically challenging for the patient, it is also emotionally and mentally challenging for the loved ones that have to watch this experience. If they're seeking out to quicken this process, I feel that euthanasia would lessen the suffering for all parties involved. Not only is it more humane and does it lessen suffering, but I feel it is a basic right that should be given to every U.S. citizen. I believe this based on the fact that I believe euthanasia grants the right to for a patient to maintain individual autonomy. Autonomy is defined as the ability to make your own decision or self-determination. I get this definition from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Self-determination also means that you can determine matters regarding your personal self and life. This was clearly laid out in legal terms in the Patient Self-Determination Act, which was passed in December of 1991. It states that a patient has 3 rights: the right to facilitate their own healthcare decisions, the right to refuse medical treatment, and the right to make an advanced healthcare directive. Because I spent extensive time in hospitals, I was given the opportunity to make my own advanced healthcare directive, and basically it outlines which life-saving procedures we would refuse and on what circumstances, at what point you would like to not be resuscitated, and in the possibility that you're incapable of making these decisions, you can appoint someone to make them for you. If a patient is allowed these rights, I feel that it is within their legal rights to choose to end their life in a quicker and more humane way through euthanasia. I would like to conclude with the following thought from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who was the author of On Death and Dying and spent many years of her life studying the dying process and also what people and human beings go through during this time. She is the one who created the 5 stages of grief. She put it very succinctly when she said that we have to ask ourselves whether medicine is to remain a humanitarian and respected profession or a new but depersonalized science in the service of prolonging life rather than diminishing human suffering. I believe that euthanasia and the legalization of this option gives terminally ill individuals the right to choose a more compassionate service that will ease their suffering as well as the suffering that their loved ones may have to experience during this process. It respects their personal human right, and it spares all parties involved needless pain. Thank you for your time.